Cycling. Track cycling was staged at the special velodrome built at Olympic Park. The temporary track, constructed of wood with a concrete surface, proved to be one of the fastest outdoor velodromes in the world, with a lap circuit of 333.33 meters. Cycling attracted huge crowds at every session. Thousands of spectators keen to see in action the 127 top wheelmen of 24 countries. 1 day and 3 nights of super cycling, a real carnival of thrills and spills. Thousand meters time trial. 22 competed in this event, and on the track at the moment is the 18th starter, the world champion Leandro Fagin of Italy. Purely a race against the clock, this event is an outright test of speed and stamina. Riders draw for the order of starting, and when their turn comes, pedal flat out for 3 laps of the track. Whoever records the fastest time is the winner. Fagin holds the world record for this event, 1 minute 9.2 seconds. He didn't go quite so well in Melbourne, but his time, 1 minute 9.8 seconds, assured him of the gold medal and a new Olympic record in the books. Fuček, Czechoslovakia, second, and Swift, South Africa, third. 2,000 meters tandem. With 6 laps of the track needed to complete 2,000 meters, this event proved a real favorite with the spectators. Third repechage in progress, Germany with the light shirts versus Russia. As in all events except the time trials, tactics play an important part. The team forced to take the lead becomes the pacemaker, is more likely to tire first, and of course finds it difficult to watch the other team. They balance and wait for one to make the breakaway. Germany decides to go, and the Russians right on their wheel. Keep your eye on the Russians. They'll try to swoop under the Germans, and there's a bad crash coming. The only bad fall in the whole series. The German pair, Ziegler and Neusser, are badly shaken, but gamely they'll ride again. Under the tangle of wreckage, the Russian pair, Vargotkine and Leonov, are badly cut and bruised. It's the end of Olympic competition for them, but this is a sport where danger lurks on every bend, and serious crashes always a possibility. The final for third and fourth. Great Britain in light shirts versus the favourites, Italy. Before the semi-finals, it had appeared that the winner would come from one of these two teams. But there was a double upset by Czechoslovakia and Australia, both of whom only just scraped into the quarter-finals. The Italian pair, Ogner and Pinarello, rode a well-timed race. After trailing the Britishers, Brotherton and Thompson, they swept into the lead, crossed the line first and took the bronze medal. Now the final for first and second. Australia on the outside wearing white shirts versus Czechoslovakia. The Australians, Brown and Marchant, had shown poor form early, but improving with every race defeated South Africa and the Italian favourites to reach the final. Czechoslovakia eliminated New Zealand and Great Britain in the quarter and semi-final. Racing to the front, Australia flew around the last bend and crossed just ahead of Czechoslovakia, Italy third. 4,000 metres pursuit race. Final for third and fourth placing between Great Britain in the white shirts and South Africa on the other side of the track. In this event, the two teams start simultaneously from opposite sides, race 12 laps and finish at their original starting line. The long-standing Olympic record for this event, 4 minutes 42.4 seconds, set by France in 1936, was bettered by all 4 teams in the 2 finals. This surely indicates an improvement in world cycling standards and emphasizes the speed of the new concrete-covered track. With both teams averaging over 30 miles an hour, it's hard to know which team is in the lead. But with 1 lap to go, Great Britain sprints for the finish, 4:42.2, just 1.6 seconds faster than South Africa. France and Italy, the big names in world cycling, to fight out the first 2 places. In the 7 games since 1920, Italy has won this event 5 times and France twice. 1956 saw the Italians add still further to their imposing record. The Italian team, Fagin, the world 1,000-metre time trial champion, Gandini, Domenicali and Gasparello. France represented by Bianchi, Grazik, Leconte and Vermeulen. For the uninitiated, the reason for the change of leader after each lap is to bring a fresh man in as pacemaker. Psychologically, it's much easier to ride behind a man at a fast pace than it is to be out in front by yourself. By alternating the leader, no one man tires out in front, and so a fast, even pace is maintained. There was no doubt in this race that the man who forced the Italians to ride so well was Leandro Fagin. As we've already seen, he also won the 1,000-metre time trial gold medal. He did turn after turn of strong, rugged pacing, which repeatedly took his team to the front. The manager and trainer of both teams are both out in the centre. No one can watch both finish lines at once. Stopwatch in one hand, they hold hands with the other and watch separate finish lines. They squeeze hands to register the exact time for the other person. The time credited to a team is taken when the third man crosses the line, so as can be imagined, every man is flat out for the last lap. 1 to go, and both teams press hard on the pedals. Spectators watch both finish lines at once. The French are second. Italy first, their time 4 minutes 37.4, a new Olympic record. Great Britain third. The 1,000-metre sprint. Final for first and second placings. Percenti, Italy on the inside nearest the camera versus the world amateur sprint champion Rousseau of France. For 1.5 minutes after the gun was fired, a battle of balancing tactics proceeded. Which man would make the breakaway first? It's the 20-year-old Rousseau who's first to move, and the race is on. 3 laps of the track, and this is one event in which tactics play an important part. Judging when to go, drawing on an opponent until he tires, and above all, having enough reserve for that last lap. Gaining speed off the bank, Percenti took the lead for a few moments, but watched Rousseau overhaul and pass the flying Italian. 100 metres to go, and Rousseau 10 lengths clear of Percenti. There's no denying the ability of the winner. World and Olympic champion at 20 years of age, Rousseau certainly provided the Melbourne crowd with a superb exhibition of speed cycling. Final placings, Rousseau, France first, Percenti, Italy second, and the 19-year-old Australian Plug third. The road race. Broadmeadows, 10 miles from Melbourne, scene of the road race. A teams and individual event, it drew 88 starters from 28 nations. 20 countries entered teams. They're off, 116 5/8 miles to go. 11 laps of an undulating stamina testing course. The weather's perfect, but a much warmer afternoon forecast. The first bend, appropriately named the dogleg. The pace steady, each rider getting the feel of the race and taking particular note of every inch of the course to see that there are no changes. Landmarks, signs and corner posts will be too well known by the end of the day. The dogleg, Somerton Corner, Misery Hill, White House Corner, Pub Corner, Jerry Corner, and 10 times down the finish straight before the end. Still well bunched, the field climbs Misery Hill for the first time. Even at this early stage, Lady Luck shows her hand. Montilla, Venezuela, slipped his chain. Valuable seconds lost. Francis Gier leads around White House Corner. The well-fancied Italians lying 6th, 7th and 8th. The outright favourite was an Italian, Ercole Boldini. He's riding a well-planned race. A further 4 miles, Pub Corner. But no time for these boys to stop for a drink. Strom, Sweden had taken over the lead. The Italians still 6th, 7th and 8th. Jerry Corner, the first lap nearly completed. With a mixed field of roadmen and a big entry of the Velodrome Stars, it's anyone's race at this stage. Fastest time for lap 1, 28 minutes, 6 seconds. An average speed of over 23 miles an hour. The day's starting to get warmer. There's 10 more laps to go, and at an average of 30 minutes per lap, approximately 5 more hours of power pedaling to the finish line. It's a big day in Broadmeadows. Every vantage point is crowded. Leaders and left-behinds receive the same cheer of encouragement. For cycling enthusiasts, this is the Olympic Games. End of lap 2, the time 56 minutes 8 seconds. We'll miss 4 laps and come in at lap 6, dogleg corner. Italian Pambianco has jumped to a 22-second lead. Boldini gambled that he couldn't sustain the pace. Jerry corner, Pambianco out of sight, but the second group, including Boldini, not worrying unduly. Still in front, the breakaway Italian is slowly being overhauled. After leading for 25 miles, Pambianco is obviously very tired. By Misery Hill, he's dropped back into the main bunch. Nyman in front, just ahead of Jer. Boldini on the left, sitting right behind the leaders. He won't make a break until absolutely sure he can keep it. Nyman still the leader, Boldini third. The temperature's well into the 80s and a dish of water most refreshing. Pambianco tried another break and led at Jerry corner. Boldini must show out soon if he's going to win that gold medal. 2 laps to go. Boldini decides the time's right to make his effort, and what a breakaway. Riding beautifully, the 23-year-old Italian, a farmer back home, literally left the rest of the field for dead. 1 lap, 11 5/8 miles to go. And unless something unforeseen occurs, Boldini must take home the gold medal. Up Misery Hill. 2 minutes ahead at White House Corner, the greatest display of power road cycling ever seen in Australia. There's no one in the rest of the field who could possibly challenge the flying Italian. Nyman, 2/3 of a mile behind Boldini, leads the rest of the field. Nearly 10 miles separates the leader and the last man. Pub corner, and there's no stopping Boldini. He's speeding for that finishing line. A friendly wave, the last opportunity for this crowd to wish Boldini well. Jer France is after the silver medal. Nyman has slipped out of the picture, and Jackson, Great Britain, and the 2 Germans, Tuller and Scher, are all fighting for the minor placings and, of course, team points. But it's all over. After 5 hours, 21 minutes, 17 seconds, Ercole Boldini crosses the finishing line. His tactics had worked. They involved patience as well as good cycling, but the gold medal was now a reality. Jer, always prominent, second. Jackson, Great Britain, third. Tuller and Scher, Germany, fourth and fifth. The new Olympic champion certainly looks happy as he steps up to receive his medal. Italy can be well proud of Ercole Boldini, Jer France second, and Jackson, whom Boldini considered his most serious rival, third. Nyman, so prominent throughout, faded in the later stages. He finished 11th. The following day, closing day of the 1956 Olympic Games. Mr. Avery Brundage, President of the International Olympic Committee, presented the team's event medals. Final placings were France, Great Britain, and Germany.